in Feb session. So yes, anybody who wants to go to USA, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, wherever, I think this year won't be that much possible, and then 2021 is the right time to go, and then that's the right time to plan.
So I guess this question goes into Lisa ma'am as well. So how about the students who are planning to apply for Canada and USA? So is it like 2021 year for them to apply?
See, we don't know how the COVID-19 situation is going to be in future, right? It might end in 3 months, it might be longer, it might take a year, we don't know. So right now, for now, we're thinking students are applying for the August, September intake for now. If the situation get good, they fly out. If not, they'll defer to the spring session, that is Jan-Feb session. So I would say that in short.
Okay. So yeah, but there is an option of deferral, right? If the students who have already been applied or
yes, absolutely, absolutely. For any reason a student cannot make it to the applied intake, the student can absolutely defer to the next intake for any reasons it might be, even if it is COVID, even if it is not COVID-19 scenario, it could be something else, some problems at house or whatever. A student sick, you can always defer it. That option is always available.
Great. So yeah.
One thing is, this is regarding those students who have already got the visa, the visa holders. In case of Australia, the Australian government is planning to take them to Australia. And they are very much open to international students, but it's not decided exactly from when they will start. So we also have in Nepal also, we have few number of visa holders. So hopefully they can go in July. If not, then they can defer to next year. I mean, 2021 phase.
So both of you mentioned that this is a very right time to, for the students to go for researches and to look into the options that they have or the scholarships that they can do. Could you please suggest like different kind of preparations that they need to do right now to go for their higher studies? So this, I'd like to ask Lisa ma'am first this question.
Sure. There are a lot of things a student need to prepare. I feel like the time is not same. Like SK sir said, research is number one priority. The student should spend a lot of time on what destination the student is good for him or her, and what education provider is suitable for the student, and then what's going in the host country right now in terms of Canada and in terms of US. How is the medium of instructions right now? Right now, most of the 100% of the classes are conducted online. Is the student okay with having an online class? That is number one question, right? Are we prepared financially? That is number two question, because COVID-19 has hit economy of every country, of every business, and of every person. So finance is something that the student needs to prepare. The student needs to sit with their parents and talk to them and see what the current scenario right now. And that is number two. And maybe take classes online and see if online classes is something for them. And second, I think I see a lot of high school students lacking this. I feel like since the mobile has come into action, we are more mobile savvy than computer savvy. Students need to be more computer savvy, since you need to take online classes. And right now, you need to submit your assignments online. You will have a group projects online. You will have presentations online. So I think those are the preparations that a student might need to do.
So is there any points on this one?
Regarding online, Isha, see, our market, is not that mature with the online classes. Students are not used to with the online classes. as Lisa ji correctly said that we ourselves, the students are, they are very this mobile savvy, not computer savvy, and for this online courses, they need to sit literally, they need to sit in front of the computer and they need to interact, and the universities, they have their own technologies for the login and all that, find the courses, it's not very user friendly at the beginning, but still then we recommend them to go for the online courses, so that they just don't sit idle doing nothing at home, and then at least they enroll at 1 or 2 units, then they can utilize that time. And the best part, many of the universities, they have reduced the fees for the units for online courses. And what they have facilitated is, like, if they don't get visa, once they decided to go to FEB, and then they apply in FEB, and then say by chance if they don't get visa, then they will get the refund, So we are promoting those kind of courses. So why not? I mean, if they are decided to go abroad in Australia or any other countries, then they should take this chance to take online courses and use the time and get some knowledge. And on top of that, about scholarship, I think this is the time where lots of scholarship are available in Australia. The government scholarships are there, the destination scholarships are there, which is around, the maximum it can go up to 15,000 per year per student. This is a very good amount, and then provided scholarship are there. All the universities, most of the universities started offering scholarship. And then because of this pandemic, they also need scholarships. They need international students very badly. And then that's why they are trying to attract international students with a good offer, discount in tuition fees and scholarships, and then this destination scholarships are there. So I think this is the very right time to grab those opportunities and use that scholarships.
Thank you very much. I guess our host, I guess our viewers definitely are getting some information and tips regarding the researches that they need to do before applying the international universities. So as we've already passed on the questions on when would be the right time to apply for, and what would be the context of a student being abroad. So moving forward to application processes. So is it possible for us to apply for 2021 right now, sir?
Are you asking me, Isha?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, that's possible. That's possible. Yes, we have got a few applications for 2021. If that's possible, the universities already started accepting the applications and issuing offer letters. We have received the offer letter also. In fact, they are doing for September, October, November session also. But September, October, November, I doubt, because it's still, we are in pandemic situation, we are in lockdown situations. And the international flights are not still on in operation. So we can try for this year, but I doubt about the visa situation, whether they accept the application or not. But yes, we can start the applications. Universities started accepting and issuing offer letter. But we are focusing, in case of Australia, we are focusing 21 Feb.
So is this something? Yeah. Sorry.
So in terms of US and Canada also, you can apply right now for Jan 2021. Okay. A lot of universities are providing application fee waivers, and even who have done A levels or IB, or have even +2 students who have secured a very good marks in English. Some universities doing English proficiency requirement. And another additional thing is a lot of universities have also starting to accept Duolingo English, because right now IELTS and TOEFL examination dates are not available. Therefore, so these are the kind of application adjustments that the universities have made. However, you can definitely apply.
So if we talk about like in terms of Australia, as sir did mention, like they have started the online classes, and the students who have already received the visas or theories can start their online classes as well. So is it something similar in US and as well as Canada as well, ma'am?
Oh yes, absolutely. Most of the universities in US and Canada have adapted to the online learning fully.
Okay.
In fact, online learning and distance learning is not something new for US and Canada. We go back 20 years, even when I was a student in the US, 20% of the classes were conducted online. So,
Okay.
so likely said, most of the universities have adapted online, and the students have adapted online classes as well. So everything is going fine.
Okay, so moving ahead with the application process itself. So, what are the main criteria that need to be taken care in terms of Australia? This goes to SK sir.
So this is see, there's a very basic list of requirements, like the academics, which are very much considered by the universities. They have their own requirements. Some universities ask for 60% or 65% for the master degree. Most of the universities, they do not accept our plus two, as per the national guidelines. But now some of the universities have started accepting our plus two, which is good news, but they really need to have a good marks, not less than 65%. And then IELTS, also it based on the courses, some of the courses need 7 in IELTS and East Band, like nursing, particularly health program or psychology or education teaching program, but not less than 6. Most of the universities for the program, they need 6 in IELTS and not less than 6 band. So these are the requirements, and obviously they have their own, GT processing, and for that they really look at the financial documents and everything, the purpose of going there, whether they are genuine or not. So they have their own GT verification process. So each and every application or students, they have to go through that process. At the moment, most of the universities in Australia, the good point is they really don't charge the application fee. Almost all universities, they waive the application fee, which is a very good part. Yes, but it's still, they have the requirement, and for all the applications, they need to go through that process and fulfill the requirement.
I think it's a bit different in US and Canada. So, ma'am, could you please also share some part of the application process?
In terms of application,
Application, yes, ma'am.
in terms of application now, nothing has changed. Whatever the application process was before,
Okay.
student makes an application, and then the turnaround time is around 3 weeks for US and about 2 weeks for Canada. And then the letter comes, and then we make a certain deposit to reserve a seat in the class.
Okay.
That's how and then a student, once the full offer comes, the student prepares to make visa documentation and apply for visa in terms of Canada. Whereas in terms of US, the application process is very, very easy. You apply to a university. The university provide, if a student fulfills all the admission requirements, you receive an I-20, and as soon as you have I-20 in hand, you can apply for visa as soon as possible, and you do not need to submit any financial documentation, and the visa result will be given on the day of your interview. So that's the application process for US and Canada. And so nothing has changed. The admission requirements, the application process remains the same. Like I said, just a little tweak on the English requirement has been made. There's an additional
Okay.
examination provider that has been accepted now, that is Duolingo English. Other than that, everything remains the same.
Okay. So duolingo English basically means, because currently we all know that both PT or IELTS or even TOEFL examination centers or examinations are not being taken place. So students will have to wait for a certain time to get along with the English test preparations. So is it like instead of that they can go through a Duolingo test, or is it something?
Yes, Duolingo is an online English proficiency test. A student can,
Uh-huh.
and then dates are available like every minutes.
Okay.
Ability is abundant, and then universities are also providing another option, that is they are also preparing their own internal English examination of their own. So if somebody does
Mhm.
give any of the tests that I mentioned, then that person can go for their internal test as well.
Okay, okay. So that is something plus point for the students who are planning to apply immediately at 2020 or once the lockdown opens.
Absolutely.
Okay, yes. Thank you so much. So moving further, now we can see that the borders are have started opening slowly in takes in sense of Australia basically. This doesn't go to Canada or USA. So sir, what would be the student being there actually, because we know students also look forward to go to the universities or the colleges and also work there. So what kind of context can we just imagine for students who are going to go there immediately after the lockdown opens?
Yes. See, at the moment, in Australia also, in different states, they have their own regulations. And Victoria is, as I said earlier, Victoria is still in lockdown situation. The movement is not that easy. But Adelaide is almost open now. It's fully in operation. And then Sydney, particularly, that is also in operation. I mean, but it's not as before. It's not fully open as before. You can go to restaurants, but obviously the social distancing is there. But public vehicles are open. But classes are still not in operation. So they have not decided. They're still monitoring the situation, and then once they get the green signal for the government, they will do it. That's why, in case of Australia, we have planned only for Feb 2021,
Mhm.
and by that time, we hope this is only hope. Okay, we hope that the situation will be normal, and then universities they will start their classes, on-campus classes. Okay, and then the business also will get in normal. At the moment, yes, lots of business have been badly affected. It's not only in Australia, it's not only in Nepal. Globally, it has been affected very badly. Lots of business, small business or medium-sized business, they have shut down, because of no business. And then, but let's hope that by 2021 Feb, they start operation, and then the situation will be normal, and then students can get job. Because when students go abroad for the studies, they consider job also, particularly from this part of the world.
Exactly.
Maximum students have few. So they also they hope to get involved in job and look for jobs, so that at least they can cover their living expenses, which is very obvious. Also, we recommend them to go for job. It's not only the money; it's about the gaining experience also, the social interaction also. That boosts their confidence also, the public relation and everything. So from that point of view, yes, we suggest them, and then hopefully by 21 Feb, they will be able to do so. But at the moment, yes, there are lots of job calls, lots of unemployment. Wherever you look at the tourism industry, basically, which is badly hit, and most of our students they go for the tourism industry, and that is for the restaurants and all those kind of things. So yes, at the moment it is affected, but let's hope, cross the finger, it will be all right.
Okay. So, ma'am, like I mentioned earlier, to this goes to Lisa, ma'am. So we know pretty much know about USA that the situation is a bit unpredictable. But in terms of Canada, is there certain changes or any probability of student going to study there for a sometime soon?
Yes, as soon as the borders open,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, nothing is in writing so far. We also feel like Canada will be opening sooner than USA, um,
Mm-hmm.
because the infected cases in US is much higher than in Canada. And so Canada is likely to open soon. And then there are a lot of students who are stranded here in Nepal who have a visa already. So first,
Mm-hmm.
those students will travel to Canada, and have to take all the safety measures possible, because health is the most important thing, uh, not just right now, but it's the most important thing ever. So the student has to take all the health safety measures to be safe while traveling from Nepal to Canada. And Canada is not a nearby country. We'll have to make many transits before we reach the country, at least two. So we have to use our common sense. We need to be cautious ourselves and take the safety measures. And all the airlines, I feel airlines will also have all those strict safety measures in place. And then once you reach the country, they will obviously have their quarantine rules in place. So before going to the host country, it's best for students to know or be aware of how many days of quarantine you'll have to stay in a quarantine facility. You have to pay on your own, or will the government of Canada will be paying? So we don't a lot of information is not confirmed right now. So once it is open, all the list that I just mentioned will be more clear, and will be able to give more information to students. But we'll have to wait for the borders to open first. And
Exactly.
not just the host country, even our border has to open. We don't know, I mean, because the cases are increasing right now in Nepal, we don't know when the curve is going to go down. Maybe the government will not open the international flights anytime soon. So we'll have to consider both the host and the home country's situation. We'll be able to say much more, we'll able to give more clear information to the
Right.
students.
Yes, I think both of you will definitely agree with me that everything is under speculation rather than on the anything factual. So it's just like this will happen, then everything will get normal, and we'll all be able to go study abroad or work thing very normally. It's more of a speculation, but still, let's hope for the best. And let's hope that all of us will be able to do our work and studies accordingly to our plan. So yeah, moving ahead with the online courses back again, because this is something right now happening. This question goes to Eskisa right now. So how much is it feasible for students to go online or to do online courses? As you all know that the universities are providing the online courses for us. So how much feasible do you think from your perspective that it is good to go for the students?
Can you repeat, Isha? It's a bit interrupted. I couldn't hear you.
The online courses that universities are providing right now. So how much is it feasible for the students, like staying at home and doing the online courses feasible from the university itself?
Yes, Isha, the online courses, it is feasible, even though, the students are not that much friendly. As Lija ji said, while she was a student in the USA, I mean, she used to have 20% online courses. So our teaching methodology and the Australian teaching methodology is totally different. Even before lockdown also, students used to do online courses. Even in Australia also, they used to submit the assignment online. It's not like we submit a bunch of copies and notebooks then give to teachers. It's not like that. Everything's done on online. The online studies, the libraries, they access online, then they do research online, they submit assignments online, they submit the reports online. So everything's online. The only the issue is we are not used to. Our students are not used. So they might face a little bit difficulties, uncomfortable at the beginning, but see, since they are going to do those things when they are in Australia, so why not they start from here? At least it's a good practice. And then on top of that, they get the credits also, full 100% credits, because they are doing the same course, same thing, and they are doing at the cheap rate. So they are utilizing this idle time, making it ideal time, so that when they go to Australia in next year, 2021, they get exemption of those credits also. So they study less and then they pay less. So yes, this is a good idea to do online courses at the moment.
So Lisa ma'am, on your opinion, I know you have already mentioned few things, but do you have anything additional to say on this?
Absolutely, yeah. Online classes is the new normal, right? Like Isha said, is the new normal. Students will get accustomed to it. I know we're not used to it now. First time is going to be difficult, but after
Right.
you get used to the system, it's going to be okay. So yes, it's absolutely feasible. Like SK sir said, the only difference is even when you go to a face-to-face class, you go to the lecture hall, you see the professor far away, and then you have all your students sitting beside you, right? And you take something with you, you open your computer and you start taking notes according to the lecture. Only difference is you'll not see your friend and the professor online, except that everything is absolutely exactly same. Because even if you were going to a face-to-face class, like SK sir said, you would still have to submit your assignments online. You would still have to, your grades would have come online. All the, pre-reading for the class would have been provided online. The presentation that would be discussed in the class would be provided to the students beforehand. So it's absolutely feasible. It's just the mindset that we need to change a bit. I know change is difficult, but once you set your mind to it, going to be easy. And and the other thing that I was going to mention about online class is it's not something new. That everybody has been doing this from a very long time. Um, yeah, and then the advantages of online classes is also there. Like if you in Canada's case, the country has allowed a student to take 50% of their courses in their home country. So when you take 50% of of the courses in the home country, you're saving on the living cost that could come to
Right.
6,000 to $8,000 per semester. And then you're saving on the living cost. You're studying online classes in the comfort of your home with your loved ones. And then and when you go to Canada and you finish the rest of your courses, you are eligible for the PGWP which is the work permit that you get for 2 years completing your course. So it's a win-win situation for students and the university.
Right, 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 right. But yeah, that's a very fact actually. Adding to what you have said, those are the very important factors that students really need to think about. Like you mentioned, the cost is pretty much low comparatively by rather than studying at university. The other thing is you can study from your home and with the loved ones. Another thing is all the units are been counted, but
Mhm.
still students, because from my experience what I would say, like students are a bit skeptical, they are not so sure, and they're a little bit worried about the visa situation also. So how would you mention that part to the, or explain that part to the students?
Like I said, change is going to be difficult at first, right? So just open your mind, have an open mind, start doing the online courses. It's going to be easy. And in terms of visa, I think it's only going to be a plus point in the visa. They're going to see how dedicated the student is, despite the situation in our home country and globally. A student is willing to spend time and money to study and to spend so much of energy for the part of the higher education that the student wants to receive. I think it will only be a plus point. So I would definitely encourage students to not waste time and start online classes, because most of my students have already done it and they're quite happy to be studying online, learning something new every day.
Oh, okay. So, talking about the financial perspective, because yeah, I think one of the factors why students are a bit uncertain about going or doing online classes is is financial part. Even though we are saving some part of, especially the accommodations and the extra expenses that might occur if we travel to the different country, but the tuition fees are comparatively similar to what we pay. If they go to the university. So is there any consideration in the tuition fee from the university side?
See, I feel like I don't think we're in the right place to, well, at least I am not in the right place to discuss what is right and what is wrong in terms of the tuition fee. However, I feel like it really, there's not a hard and fast answer for this one. There's no yes or no answer for this. It really depends to a student, right? What is the priority for that student at the moment? If time is the priority, taking online class is advantageous for that student. You are saving time. Yeah, right. If like I told you, the advantage of taking class, half of your class here in the home country saves money in terms of living costs, right? So if that is the priority for that student, again, online very important. And again, and thirdly, for a student who thinks that my university, why am I going to a university? If I'm going to a university to experience the whole environment, to get the benefit of foreign country, then online classes will not make sense to that student. So I think it really depends from student to student.
Right. Students to student. So, Eskisa, do you have any opinion on this topic?
Not really much. See, the universities, yeah, why they are charging equal fees, why they are not reducing the fees, I personally can't comment on that. But in terms of Australian universities, many universities, they have reduced the fees, and we even asked, we also don't ask to complete, take all the units, we have asked just
Okay.
to take 1 or 2 units, just to keep them engaged, that will definitely have plus point when they go under GT verifications. So they obviously the High Commission will consider it because they are here, they are spending money and time to learn. So definitely they consider it as a genuine students. So that will have a hopefully positive implication on their visa. So this is not a bad idea, even they complete 1 semester course, at least they can stay here, they can study and then stay with family, they can save their living cost, and the plus point is they get 100% credits, because they are going to study the same modules, same units as they go and they study in Australia. So this is not a bad idea. So I think it's a good idea to the courses. Yeah, there are universities which offer 100% courses online, and lots of students are doing. This is a new thing for us because we are not used to that, we don't have that practice. Even our local universities, they never practice this, So that's why this is new for our Nepalese children. But this is entirely not a new thing. They are practicing since many years. So this is not a new thing. So I think there's no harm in going into this system.
Yeah, I guess even in the time of this COVID-19, everything seems so much abnormal, or lots of new things are coming up, like I mentioned earlier. But listening to both of your conversations and thinking about higher studies is definitely a positive aspect for all. There are lots of good news for all of us who needs to be taken care of carefully, and I guess that will help the students who are abroad for their higher studies. So, yeah. Moving ahead with the application process, or I would say it's a generic question actually, because most of the students are bit worried about the gap year, I would say. I think both of you do know what gap year means. So since the students have passed out their classes in 2019 and they're not being able to apply for 2020, it will be like 21, like we all know. So will that 1 year be considered as a gap year for upcoming students application for Australia, sir?
No. The good point is the universities have, consider it as a continuous studies. They will not take it as a gap year. So this is a pretty good point because this is not under control of students, none of us. So they will consider it as continuous studies. But if yes, after the pandemic gets over, and then if they still don't study and continue with the same gap, then they will consider it as a gap. Otherwise, it's okay at the moment.
Okay. So, ma'am, will this be something similar in US and Canada as well?
Yes, same for Canada and US as well. This will not be considered a gap year. And And really, even in the past, universities in US and Canada, and I'm sure it's for Australia also, gap years have not, unless the gap years are like 5 years to 10 years, the universities
Mm-hmm.
really open to hear about what students were doing or what students have been doing in that gap, I think if a student is able to explain logically what the student has been doing in the gap, I think the universities in US and Canada have always looked at the gap positively. So definitely no. With your question, the answer is no.
Mm-hmm. So it's the perspective of students that how they show to the university, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's another good news actually. I think I'm getting all the good news from both of you today. Thank you so much. So how about I think we are almost at the end of the session as well. So I have few more questions regarding, especially regarding the ongoing situations of the acceptance of the international students in the international level. So how about accepting Nepalese students in Australia, USA, or Canada? What kind of situation do you think might occur? Will they be easily accepting the students? So, Lisa, ma'am.
Yes, I don't think Nepali students are troublemakers by any means. I feel you know what I mean. So yes, Canada has always been very accepting of all international students, and obviously they'll accept Nepali students with open arms. And with the US, I know a lot of racial bad news, negative news is floating around on Facebook, and, most of the news channels. But like I said, it's not going to happen in every part of the US. Not all Americans are negative. So
Right.
there, Americans and Canadians are very accepting of international students. Yeah, so we should not have any problems.
Okay. Yeah. So, SK sir, what any
Yes,
opinions
I
on your?
mean, Nepalese students, they have a very good reputation, wherever they go. Canada, USA, Australia, New Zealand, wherever they go, I mean, the Nepalese students are very genuine, very hardworking, very honest. There is no hanky-panky with Nepalese students. Yeah, we get sometime negative news, but that happens with everyone, everybody, every nationalities. So, but overall, if you look at the overall scenario, Nepalese students have very good reputation in terms of education. Also, they have really performed very well. So they have won lots of medals, in universities academically. So they're well accepted. So shouldn't be issues. Absolutely no issues.
Okay, great. So, I think we did definitely get all the informations about like how will be the situations post COVID-19 and how students can apply as well as the scholarships or the researches that they really need to do. Saying that, last one final question. This is just for a general inquiry actually. Um, what would be your suggestion, especially in terms of students who are interested? Will this be a competition, or will this interest the students more focus on studying in Nepal itself rather than studying abroad in terms of present scenario? Do you have any opinion on this? So, excuse
I
me,
didn't
this
get the
is for you.
question well,
Sorry.
because there
Okay.
was
So what I meant
interruption.
was,
Can
like
you repeat it?
looking forward to this present scenario,
Mm-hmm.
student might have an option of studying in Nepal itself as well. So, is this a competition, or is this something the value that student can have, like studying back home भन्ने एउटा options पनि student ले लिन्छ भनेर चाहिँ सोध्न खोजेको कि following the situation, अहिलेको situation.
See, when whatever the situation is, this pandemic situation is not a long-term situation. This is a short-term situation, and then short-term pandemic, and then let's hope that it will be over very soon. Maybe by September or October, or before Dasai, so that we can celebrate Dasai well. So whenever students go abroad and then get qualifications from good universities, that adds value on their life, on their career. So from wherever they do, they should have a good qualification from good university. That's all. It doesn't matter they go to Australia or they go to USA or they go to Canada, or they go to Denmark or they go to Japan. They should go to good university, good institutions. Where like they learn the things which they can implement in their career. So obviously that will make a big difference in their lives. Even in Nepal also, if you look at the different institutions, they have different value addition. Some universities are well accepted, even some colleges are well accepted, their performance are different. So when they go to the international universities, then obviously their horizon will be wide open, and then their performance also goes like that.
So, Lisa, ma'am, do you have any opinion on this part?
Yeah, sure. I don't think there has ever been a competition between the universities in Nepal and abroad. I think that was your question, right? Nepal has some beautiful universities here. We have great medical colleges, we have engineering colleges, a lot of business universities are coming. But then it really depends on what a student wants for him or herself. If a student is looking for a global degree which is sellable around the world, if somebody is looking for global exposure, coming out of your comfort zone and being independent, being more confident for the first 4 years of your bachelor's and trying to grow as a person, I think by all means, I think going abroad could be a very good option for that. But then, like I said, it really depends on a student what he wants, because Nepal also has great universities and colleges, right? But again, studying abroad is a lifetime experience. It's an experience and it's a degree that nobody can take away from you. You will learn, you will grow as a person. Um, you will come out after completing your bachelor's or a master's. You'll come out to be a very, very confident person. So I think it's a wonderful experience that every person should experience in their lifetime, whether it be in their bachelor studies or masters or PhD or maybe diploma courses, anything. But it's highly, highly recommended.
Okay. Thank you so much. I guess we are almost at the end of this session as well. Thank you very much, SK sir and Lisa ma'am. Thank you very, very much for the session. I hope our audience then had a very good information from both of you, and hope to see you soon as well. Thanks so much.
Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
SeWahh, in this session. Yeah. I thought this is very good information
Thank
from
you,
this
Isha.
session. Yeah.
And
So,
then
audience, if you have any questions, yeah. So if you have any questions, then you can also drop into our website, edu.np or PacAsia studyabroad.edu. So you can comment us there, as well as for the SeWahh, as well as in the SeWahh website as well. And saying that, I'd like to say goodbye. Bye bye. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Isha. Bye.
thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.